Hello, I'm Phil Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and in this episode, I want to talk about a notion that my Duolingo app likes to remind me of, which is progress, not perfection. And I think these three simple words are so liberating when you really think about it and when you really embrace it. So many of us, I feel like, as artists, we always strive for perfection. And number one, it's like based on whose definition, right? Our own, how we to define perfect. Others, who, right? There's always going to be varying opinions. Even if someone likes a particular piece of work, there's always going to be nitpicks here and there. For example, I really love The Matrix. And I'll just talk about it from the perspective of the first one. I think it's wonderful. Still a couple of things here and there I'm like, could have been done better, right? So, so in that sense, who are we trying to appease with this perfection, right? But instead, if we just focus on the idea of progress, not perfection, then we elevate what we do as artists. And I think, perfection is one of those words that I feel like can cripple someone from moving forward, right? It paralyzes them with fear from doing something, because if it's not going to be perfect, what's the point of doing it? It's like, okay, well, who cares if it's going to be perfect? Just make progress on it. With Duolingo, for me, it's, every lesson that I take, I'm not going to be perfect in. I'm never going to learn unless I continue the process and progress in that way. You're not going to become a better writer if you don't make the mistakes that you do. You have to progress. You're not going to become a great filmmaker until you start, making something and making the mistakes along the way. Rob Rodriguez, someone I talk about very dearly, who I love, who I think is incredible. Let's just for a minute, right? I know it's not the case, but let's just say he is a perfect filmmaker currently. Well, how did he get here? Well, from a very young age, he was filming everything, editing it together on, across like 2 VHSs and blah, blah, blah. Like the method was insane because, all these programs weren't readily available like they are today. But he was doing these things and honing his craft to become a great filmmaker. And he has now, theoretically achieved perfection. Although, again, none of us always do. And I think he'd be the first one to say that. So that's what it's really about, right? Is no matter what stage of our careers, our creative paths, journey, whatever you want to call it, that we're on, we just continue progressing, And because ultimately there is no finish line, And if there is, it's like, why? How do you get there, and why even do it, right? So that's my message, pure and simple. Progress, not perfection. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or thoughts of your own regarding this, by all means, please share down in the comment section below or hit me up on social media @PhilSvitek, and I hope to see you next time.